Former President Jacob Zuma saying he won't be appearing at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry through his lawyers today, and this is despite a constitutional court order compelling him to do so. Newzroom Afrika's senior reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo was on the story. In fact, she's live to us now from Braamfontein. That's where that order was given. Ziyanda, interesting to note some of the reasons behind the former president's now no-show. What are the lawyers saying?
Well, I can tell you that Zuma's lawyers are saying that they still have a review application of their recusal bid to, of course, have Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo recuse himself as chairperson of the commission. But if my memory serves me well, Ayanda, the Constitutional Court ruling did actually speak upon this to say that that is a particular, that is a separate matter. They were, of course, tasked with dealing with whether or not the former president is forced to appear before the Zondo Commission, which it has said he is forced to do so, and that at the very least, if he does appear, then he must appear with his lawyers and then explain how he would be implicating himself. But of course, Zuma's lawyers maintaining their earlier stance since they put through that application for Zondo to recuse himself, to say that Zondo is biased, that he's not impartial, and he cannot adjudicate the State Capture Commission fairly. But to join me to talk about this more is Dr. Sthembiso Bhengu. Thank you so much, Dr. Bhengu. I think the breaking news obviously speaks to the issue of a possible constitutional crisis then of the former president not appearing. They're saying, well, their review application is still before the courts. However, there will likely be a different legal opinion on this.
It is quite an interesting development. I think it is significant. I think to twist it on the positive side, we can see how our constitutionalism is being tested, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how then the law is actually applied. And in one way, we can look at this as, in a way, positive for exploring, for essentially unpacking what is our constitutionalism, what is really entailing, how we interpret the law, because on the basis of simple application of the law, we understand that the Constitutional Court is the apex court. And so once a determination has been made by the Constitutional Court, that becomes then the overriding determination of which all other courts in the country, essentially, you can't go anywhere else after there's been a determination. But this is going to be quite an interesting to see how essentially South African constitutionalism, a young constitutionalism for that matter, how it actually entangles itself, how it interprets these things, which is going to be good going forward to, really to strengthen, to embolden our constitutionalism.
It would seem to me that the former president's main bone of contention is the presence of Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo as chairperson of the commission, and hence we are seeing then this continued stance then that they're waiting for that review application to be finalized. Do you get a sense that if in an unlikely event that the Deputy Chief Justice does then recuse himself from the commission as the chairperson, that the former president would still be willing then to appear before the State Capture Commission of Inquiry?
Well, on that issue of us, there's two things. I think the first one, it was quite clearly argued in the commission by the Deputy Chief Justice as well as by the commission lawyers, that the case for the judge to recuse himself did not have strong merit. So I think that's an important issue to start with, the fact that according to the Constitutional Court judge, who is then the chair of the commission, the case that was presented, as meaning the motivation for why the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice must recuse himself, did not present sufficient case merit for it to be considered. And so that is quite significant. And so the significance of that, if you talk of a normal court procedure, is that if I go to court and the judges prosecute against what was my wish, case law establishes that the rules or the judgment that is made essentially stands. Obviously, then you go for appeal. If then you win the appeal, the judgment then falls down. But essentially, the challenge with this case is that it then wants to assume that this is not the law, but this is the politics. And I think that is the interesting part around how do we manage the law and the politics and how these two are playing out moving forward.
Well, there you have it, Ayanda. That's Dr. Sthembiso Bhengu. Well, I'm no legal expert, but it would seem to me then that the issue here that is being put forward by the former president's lawyers is that we're not opposed to appearing before the commission. We're not necessarily aiming to defy the law, in particular the constitutional court. Our main issue here is who we then appear before when we do go to the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. Whether or not then this particular stance taken by the lawyers of the former president will not be viewed as a defiance. Well, I'm no legal expert, but I'm sure there'll be lots to say regarding this.
Yeah, you know, legal expert, which certainly did a great job helping us trying to anchor what this moment means as all our mental faculties race to try establish where to from here.